Welcome to Full Scope, a podcast analyze the games that we love, the headlines of music, and the movies we can't forget. I'm your host, Wellington Burns, and back with another episode. It's been a crazy, um, honestly, just last week in sports in general. Obviously, we have Mike Malone getting fired from Denver. What in the world's going on? Like what's going on? Just when you think that Taylor Jenkins getting fired from the Grizzlies was weird, oh, like add Mike Malone to the script. Yeah, that's gonna get some eyeballs. That's gonna get some attention. After the craziest trade ever with Luka Doncic this year, add that to the script. Obviously we have the disappointing Duke loss and Houston coming up against Florida. Florida, they win the championship. And they have a great run. Obviously, Walter Clayton Jr. has a great performance, a great lockdown um, defensive play at the end, and we have Luka Doncic just return to Dallas, which is tonight, and we're a few hours removed from that, which is going to be obviously a big scene. But first, I want to get off to Mike Malone being fired from the Nuggets, and just a few days before the playoffs kick off, and it's bizarre. It's very bizarre because a couple years ago we saw Mike Malone winning a championship with the Nuggets, beating Miami in 5 games, and then they obviously lose to Minnesota last year. But this is a very talented team. They have the best player in the world. I mean, Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world. There's no reason why you know they couldn't make another run in this year or next year. But obviously they have had some really bad losses, some underachieving losses, and from certain reports that I saw, I was heard from Chris Broussard. I was watching Chris Broussard yesterday on First Things First, and he said that it was a toxic coaching environment. The players didn't like the fact that he was this just old school, you know nose to the plow type of just taskmaster. You got to do it this way. You got to do it this way. I'm gonna let Jokic and Murray do what they need to do, but I'm not gonna be too hard on them. But I'm gonna be hard on the rest of you guys. It's just sometimes when that happens, players are gonna get turned off by it because it's just like you're not being fair. This should be equal opportunity. If you're thinking of Greg Popovich right now, I know why, because he can turn off a lot of people in terms of his personality, the way he acts, the way his interviews are, the way he's short with people. It can be a turn off, obviously. I understand that. But that doesn't mean that it can translate, because Greg Popovich has a lineage of just championships. 5 championships. Probably should have been 6 if it not for that 2012 Ray Allen and Chris Bosh getting the offensive rebound, and we all know what happens for Mike Breen. Bang, bang, bang. Like like when that happens, it's over. It's absolutely over, because that's a morale booster, and we know how big that play was. And obviously, they come up short, but he still has 5 titles. Still has 5 titles. Like that's amazing. Let's title with Pat Riley. So I think that sometimes culture and coaching is just one of the biggest things that people overlook. It's not just about winning, it's about, hey, what's the culture like? Do people like the culture? Like, I think there's a reason why Steve Kerr was able to win championships and Mark Jackson wasn't. Mark Jackson built the foundation for the Warriors, but Steve Kerr was like, no, I'm taking this to the max. I'm absolutely taking this to the max. I have the best backcourt in the world. And yes, Mark Jackson, he acknowledged this was the best backcourt, but what are you going to do to elevate it? You can say it, and yes, he built a great system, but I don't know if they have the same success, the same offensive success that they do without Steve Kerr. I think Steve Kerr is an offensive mastermind. I think he knows he may not be a great situational coach at times, because I think situationally he can get really schooled. I think there's sometimes it's like, whoa, like what are you doing? Like, why is Festus Ezeli guarding LeBron twice in the last 5 minutes of a finals must win finals game 7 at home to win the title? Like, why is Festus Ezeli the guy you're putting? Oh, let's put him on LeBron. Like that'll do it. That'll do it. Like, that's gonna show LeBron. Like, LeBron's like, no, that's red. That's dinner. That is a full-fledged. I'm taking this on. This is so easy for me. This is such a late. This is such a bucket for me. This is the guy you're gonna put up. Like, really, Kerr? Really? Come on, Steve. Like, this is who you're gonna put in front of me? Festus Ezeli twice. Oh, buckets, absolute buckets, straight down the barrel. It's over. What are you doing? So we know situationally, Steve Kerr can mess up things, but obviously he has a great culture. That's why they're still able to be good. That's why they're one of the contender. They're a contender again with Jimmy Butler added to the team and added to the roster. What is Mike Malone doing for the culture? That's of the Nuggets. That's the question. What is he doing? Is he actually adding juice to the culture, or is it just like, oh, do this, do that, go ahead? Players, Michael Porter Jr. is not going to respond well to that. Aaron Gordon's not going to respond well to that. Nikola Jokic, at some points, I know he said that he loves Mike Malone, but other players, they're like, that's cool. You're the best player. Of course, like you get what you want. Of course you love him. And I'm not undermining the fact that Nikola Jokic might have had a really good relationship with Mike Malone. I'm not undermining that, but I'm just saying like players interpret things a different way. So when we look at this, I'm very perplexed at the timing of it because I think the timing is just bizarre. It is weird timing, but there's a reason for the timing. There's always a reason for the timing. And when there's a reason for the timing, we have to just be honest about why that is. And clearly, Mike Malone was rubbing certain players the wrong way. And that's just something that has to get addressed, that has to be that has to be noted factually, that was happening. So again, do I think the Nuggets are a first round exit type of team? I'm not gonna say that, but if they play the Warriors, I'm picking the Warriors. I will. I'm not as confident in this team as I once was. I was wrong about this team. I'll say it. Wellington's Y zone was wrong about the Nuggets. He was wrong. I thought they were going to go on a run. I thought they were going to be really good. I thought they were going to probably have two titles by now. I thought they were because they have the best player and they have a great duo. But Jamal Murray is streaky. That's the thing. This is the thing we're seeing about Jamal Murray, and some people saw it earlier than I did, and I missed it. He's streaky. He is very streaky. He's a streaky shooter. He can have great moments, and it's like, oh man, it's awesome. Yeah, Jamal Murray, do your thing. But it's like, where's it going to? What's it actually going to, man? Like, are you actually really taking it off the top in terms of your shooting prowess, or are you picking bad shots that go in sometimes, and then other times you're picking it's bad shot selection? That might be what it is, you know? And I think Jamal Murray is extremely talented. Don't get me wrong. He's one of the he's a phenomenal scorer. Really good shooter. I absolutely think he's a really good player. But there is just something about what's happening with him and the injury that I think is just very problematic for this team. It's very problematic at this time. So it's going to be a wait and see type of situation, and it's going to get really interesting. It's going to get very interesting. I also want to get to the Lakers and Thunder yesterday. Last night, the Thunder, they're able to win at home against the Lakers. They obviously had a big blowout loss to them over the weekend, but it was very fascinating and very telling. They win 136 to 120. Luka gets ejected. About 7 minutes left. Shea has 42 points. And this is the type of game and setting where I would say that OKC knew that they had to bounce back. They knew like you can't lose twice to this Lakers team, especially like going into the playoffs, because it's like there is a certain level of mind control that can happen with teams about like, hey, we beat you twice. Once at our place, once at your place, like we got you guys. Like we got your number. Like I don't care if you're the one seed, we got you. Like we match up well with you. So when that happens, it gets in, especially in young players' heads. It's gonna get in their heads. And the Thunder, they know that they're so close to clinching, best record in the league, home court advantage out the playoffs. They got a two game lead on the Cavs with three games remaining, and it's just very telling that some of these matchups just don't work well with the Thunder. Some of these guard matchups is just like, oh my gosh, like it's advantage LA. It's advantage LA over OKC. So I would say that with that ejection with Luka, first of all, he should not have been ejected. That was ridiculous. But Luka has such a built-up reputation for whining and going on that it's like, bro, what do you think is going to happen? At some points, the script and the fact of the matter, the red tape is going to be like the refs are like, hey, let's look at this guy's past track record. Oh yeah, he whines, he whines, he whines. He probably was trash talking a ref. that's what they're going to think. So when that happens, you can't get upset about it because it actually is very telling and it's very it can just play against you when you don't have a good track record. It just absolutely plays against you when you don't have a good track record. And I think that again, I don't think that this means that Luka has to completely change the way he is about certain things and about being aggressive. Obviously, he's going to say the same way, but we might as well get to the tail of the matter. The tail of the day is Luka and the Lakers in Dallas. Obviously, I believe that when we revisit this, this is going to be viewed as the worst trade in NBA history, worst trade ever. Obviously, it's a home run for LA. I mean, you get Luka Doncic at 25. What do you? And you get to pair him with LeBron in his twilight years. Of course, you do that. Of course. Like, what are you thinking? Of course, you do that. No brainer. But the Dallas Mavericks are heartbroken. They will forever be heartbroken because Nico Harrison, I'm going to say it again, Mr. Nico Harrison, is responsible for the tumultuous and catastrophic collapse of a team that was supposed to be like great. That was supposed to be in multiple finals appearances. That was supposed to be in at least multiple conference finals. Maybe not even finals, but multiple, at least conference finals where you're like, oh, they got a shot to make the finals. Oh, they got a shot to make a run in the West. Nico Harrison is public enemy number one in Dallas. And unless you guys get Cooper Flag and the next three great draft picks of the decade, it's over. It's over. It's done. You have Anthony Davis. You have Anthony Davis, and you're the 10 seed, and you think, oh, that's something? Like Dallas knows they're toast. They know it. Kyrie, he's injured. Maybe if you now if you had Kyrie and if Kyrie and it was AD and then Kyrie and then KD was interested in coming to in the offseason, which I heard rumors of. Kyrie, KD, AD. I like it. I like it. It's got a nice ring to it. I actually like it. Their chances would be better, but with this, absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's nothing about this that screams championship contender or whatever you want to call it. It's just nothing about it that does. And and I also want to get to so yeah, I think Luka is going to have a good performance, a solid performance. I think I want to just put a highlight on Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves to me is just he is a 90s guard to me. I love watching his game. He's such a just mature player and he makes good decisions and he can read the floor really well. And I just think the guy is just a dog. Austin Reeves is just a like he can. I saw him like really be on the floor against the Warriors a couple of years ago, and he was stand he stood toe to toe to some of the guards. He stood toe to toe to play Steph. I was like, this dude is a dog. Like Austin Reeves is him. Like he's Timothy. So he is absolutely Timothy, man. And so I cannot say enough good things about um about this team. About the fact that I think the direction has gotten so much better after the Luka trade, and I think for Dallas, obviously, it's the opposite. Do I have concerns for LA? I do. And I'm gonna get to my finals prediction probably in right after the play-in and do my video for it for Wellington's Y Zone. Check it out on obviously follow me on socials, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. You will see Wellington's Y Zone videos at least 2 or 3 times a week, and keep following this podcast as we transition to making it fully Wellington's Y Zone. You know, got some behind the scenes things to do, but this will be a fully Wellington's Y Zone podcast. So yeah, like I totally wholeheartedly believe Luka will have a good performance. AD will be motivated for sure again going up against LeBron, going up against his old cats, and for sure it's going to be an interesting night. Um, Play-in tournament, we have that coming up, and that should definitely be intriguing. It should definitely be something where we see that, we got the Pistons at 6, Orlando at 7, Atlanta at 8, the Bulls at 9, Miami at 10 in the East. So there are going to be some really intriguing like projected matchups because in the play-in picture is currently Magic, Hawks. So the West would be Minnesota versus Memphis, and then Dallas versus Sacramento. I mean, I would go with Minnesota in that matchup, and then I probably go Sacramento, and then you have in the East. I kind of feel as though with what I've kind of currently been seeing with it with obviously the fact that you got Miami kind of currently coming up on a bit of a stride. They're kind of like having more projections, more momentum. I think that part of it is intriguing. Tyler Hero has been just absolutely phenomenal. I love what I'm seeing from Tyler Hero. The Bulls have been frisky. Bulls are very dangerous. I mean, the out of all the teams in the play-in for the East, I would say the Bulls are the most dangerous team. That team has just been on a stride. So I would say the Bulls are the most dangerous. And then in the West, um, you know, Minnesota for sure. Like Minnesota and those guys, I think they're going to be a dangerous team. That's just a squad. That is a squad that I think will make a that will look better second half of the season, play-in season, and be a dangerous first round matchup because you know what N does in playoffs. We know like that time KD said after a Clippers game, like said I'm Kevin Durant, like you know who I am. Like that's what Ant's gonna be doing. Like come on, you guys know who I am. Like he's got more to prove because I think the ascension of calling him Jordan was way too fast. I'm like, guys, like come on, don't call this man Jordan immediately. Like give him time. I know he looks like him. I know he looks like him back in the '80s, but give it time. So yeah, I absolutely think that the play-in is going to be it should be intriguing. Should be intriguing. Um, and I wanted to get to Houston, Florida. I'm having a guest this week. I'm having Micaiah back on. I know Micaiah is going to love to gloat and just bask in the fact that he was right, even though we know the tournament is just is luck. It's luck. It's absolute luck. If Micaiah, if you're listening, it is win or go home. It's win or go home. So we don't always get it right, but congrats to you. He definitely beat me on that one. Florida beat Houston 65-63, and man, um, you know, Walter Clayton, he didn't score his first point until the 14:57 mark of the second half, and didn't make his first field goal until 7:53 left in the game. It was very revealing that the supporting cast, which shows just how deep Florida was with supporting cast, was the one that really kind of bolstered them up. And erasing a 12-point deficit, first, third national championship since '06. Great win for them. Houston, I really got to talk to you. I got to put a highlight on Houston. Like, why in the world could you not guys not get a shot off? I just I don't get it. I don't get why you can't get like I'm Kevin Knowles. I'm thinking first of all, like, do I want to go at Kevin Knowles or do I want to go at the team? Because first of all, sometimes the coaching reflects the team, reflects execution. Kevin Knowles, what were you doing? Like, what play were you drawing up that was just so hard to get a shot off? I've had multiple times of just looking at Kevin Knowles and his just like recent just runs of like why did they come up short? Why do they have so much like physical, great aggression, but then just can't really close the deal? I think that's concerning. I think that's very concerning. So, look, I will say that they're not, it was great what they did, but I just think the fact that not getting a shot off is just something that's always going to sting you. How can it not? Like, how can it not sting you when you like, we could win the championship. We could at least go for a two. Like, the odds say go for a two more than I saw Kenny Smith like, I'd say go for a two more than it says go for a three. Go for a two. You don't have to go for it. You don't have to win the whole, you don't have to get the whole pie. Just get a sizable bite and then be like, hey, let's 5 extra minutes. Like, let's take our odds there. Let's see what our odds there. I would do that more than go for the three. And I just think this was a totally missed opportunity. Um, what can you say? I think when it comes to my Dukies, we dropped the ball. We absolutely dropped the ball with physicality, s- falling asleep at the wheel. It was just very poor, um, how we just did not elevate when it was time to elevate. Didn't happen. There was no necessary elevation, and they out hustled us. They absolutely out hustled, and athletically we got bullied. we got Duke got bullied. They absolutely got bullied, and I will tip my hat to them and say, yes, those guys bullied us, and they did not step up to the table. And when you can't out bully, as my brother's, I was talking to my brother about it. As you, if you can't, if they can't out bully you, if Houston can't out bully you, you're not gonna beat them strategically. Houston cannot beat you strategically. They gotta win one way, and it's aggression. If they can't be aggressive, it's not gonna happen. And that's what Florida was able to do. They were able to get that done. I am trying to desperately see if there's anything I missed, any breaking news. Obviously, Mike Malone, that was the biggest breaking news. Luka Doncic, Carmelo. I want to say this. Carmelo, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, and man, Carmelo is just such a great Nick. And they obviously didn't get far in the playoffs. It didn't ever get to that part they needed to get to. But man, like and absolutely like an absolutely great scorer. He wants the Knicks to retire his jersey. And that getting that immortality for New York, the Garden is just it's amazing. It's incredible. And he's one of the headliners for the Hall of Fame 2025. And the inclusion is going to reveal at the final. It was at the men's basketball tournament festivities in San Antonio. If I can actually talk, I can't even say festivities. Can't even talk. So he had a tribute video, standing ovation from Madison Square, on Tuesday. I mean, last night. So I mean, come on, like, how can you not love Melo? We know what we know the fact that Melo did not deliver defensively. We know that. Like we know there's some nitpicking things obviously that we're going to share, but in terms of just the player, how entertaining he was, how like refined he was as an offensive performer, come on. Like Melo was goated. He was so goated. One of the great scores we've ever seen, and to be in that Nick lore is absolutely special, and I can't wait to see that happen for him. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.